Hello, good morning. We are driving again, and we got some questions, and we thought we're going to use the time driving to address them. One question was about the geological history of La Palma. It seems that people are interested in that, and so I convinced Juan Carlos to give us a little breakdown of the geological history. So La Palma is one of the younger islands in the Canary archipelago, in the Canary Island chain, and it youngs from east to west, with El Hierro being the youngest, about 1.5 million years old in terms of the rock record. What's the story about La Palma? Can you tell us a bit more, Juan Carlos?
Well, La Palma is very interesting in the fact that the actual submarine route and the plutonic core of the island has been uplifted by endogenous thrust. So we have outcrops in the bottom of the Caldera de Taburiente of the early stages of submarine growth of the island, and has been dated by fauna, by fossils, at around 4 million years. So we can assume that this is the age when the actual island started to develop. But the first subaerial lavas have been dated in about 2 million years.
So somewhere after 4 million years, after these fossils were laid to rest on the seabed, the volcanics came in and covered the sedimentary units, and then building up a seamount. And in the Taburiente caldera, in the deep eroded part, we also see pillow lavas, and exactly. We see submarine eruptive sequences, and that gives us a very good insight into how these islands grow from the sea floor upwards. Before they become actually real islands, we call them seamounts as long as they're in that stage. So there's a seamount complex. So what happened afterwards, once the seamount grew to a sizable island?
Well, La Palma has two main stages, two main important stages. One is the building of a shield, a basaltic shield. It's called, well, actually there are two shields, but we can say that it's a big shield, the Taburiente volcano, that is from 2 million years to about 400,000 years.
Yeah.
And then there is a small gap, and the Cumbre Vieja reef zone started to grow, always in a progression from north to south.
That's very important.
But that's why now the Cumbre Vieja volcano has concentrated all the volcanic activity, the Taburiente shield being extinct. And that's why we are here, because this Cumbre Vieja rift is the most active part of the Canary Islands, has more than half of all the volcanic, the historical volcanic eruption, and the last one is the one that we're just present exactly. In 2021.
There's one important thing that happened in the transition between the Taburiente volcano and the Cumbre development.
Yeah, sure.
And that is the big landslide at 560,000 years. This really marked the change of the shield volcano in the north, and it presumably caused the development of the ridge. Do you want to say a word about the landslide?
Yes, exactly about 800,000 years ago, the shield started to progress southwards and develop a very high and unstable volcano that is called Cumbre Nueva. We can discuss later why. And this collapses about 600,000 years ago and produced a very big giant landslide that was the beginning of the Taburiente caldera and the Los Llanos de Aridane embayment. And after that, a small gap in which the Volcano volcano grew nested inside this landslide embayment, the Cumbre Vieja started and concentrated all the volcanism from about 140,000 years or so to the present.
The Cumbre Vieja is therefore relatively young. It's the youngest volcanic feature with 140,000 years. And it actually continues submarine for quite a bit.
Absolutely,
so there's a ridge that is now underwater, and it goes on for quite some kilometers. So the Cumbre Vieja is not just what we see on land. It doesn't have a sharp southern end. It actually continues underwater.
I have And, well, I sent a paper to a journal talking about the ages of the Cumbre Nueva and Cumbre Vieja volcanoes. And happened to be that the Cumbre Nueva is far older than the Cumbre Vieja.
Yes.
And they questioned me, and I said, well, here in La Palma they are very, they are a little, I don't know how to say with the names of the volcanoes. At the present, this volcano has no name. And happened that this Cumbre Vieja, old ridge, and the Cumbre Nueva, the new ridge, were related to the forestation of when they planted
about
pines.
Forest, yes.
So they started to plant pines in the Cumbre Vieja, that's called old, and then after that in the Cumbre Nueva, that's why it's called Nueva, new. But this is because of the planting.
It's not actually geologically
No,
related.
it's not geological.
It's a forestry kind of thing, and it led to a lot of confusion because I got this question as well. Why is the youngest part of the island called the Cumbre Vieja, and the older part is the other way around? People kind of sent emails and or on YouTube saying, "Oh, you got this wrong, obviously," and I go, "No, sorry, it's beyond me. It's something else."
I almost had a paper rejected because of this.
Yeah, they thought you made it all up, but
Absolutely.
no, it has nothing to do with the rocks. So
They thought that the ages were wrong.
okay, good. So this is great. Thank you. I think this is a very useful summary for people. So just quickly, there's a seamount stage that's exposed inside the landslide scar, so we can look into the old part of the volcano. Then above that we have the Taburiente shield and the little other shield, the Garrafía volcano, but we can summarize this as one shield volcano. And then this was terminated by a large landslide, and after that the ridge grew quite strongly towards the south, forming the Cumbre Vieja, and that is where virtually all the historical eruptions, well, actually all the historical eruptions have occurred, and they're quite frequent, making La Palma the island with the most historical eruptions in the Canary Archipelago. So I think that's good enough. So we're also very close to the petrol station where we need to fill up the car, so I say thank you, Juan Carlos, for giving us that explanation, and I'll close our little session here, and hopefully we can report a little bit more later on. All the best, good luck, bye bye.